5 mythical creatures that actually existed. Who doesn't love a good story? Especially ones which involve unbelievable mythological creatures. Creatures that you wouldn't remotely think are real. But as history has proven, there is a basis for which these creatures were brought up. Today we're going to be looking at 5 mythical creatures that actually existed. Number 1 is going to make you question the past. Make sure to like and subscribe before we start. Starting off with Number 5. The direwolf. Direwolves became largely popular when Game of Thrones hit the mainstream. These large wolves are a constant companion of the stars in the show, and are shown to be large, intelligent and protective. They are not, however, just merely a figment of George Martin's imagination. They are in fact based on real animals. Dire wolves lived during the Pleistocene, between 250,000 to roughly 10,000 years ago. Unfortunately, real dire wolves were not really the size of ponies. They were larger than modern wolves though, and could weigh as much as 200 pounds. Almost twice the size of a very large modern wolf. Their skulls are much larger compared to today's modern wolves. Ironically though, their brains are much smaller. However, if they had bigger brains, we probably wouldn't have had amazing fossils of them. Thousands of dire wolf fossils have been found in the La Brea tar pits. Scientists believe that they were trapped there when they started feeding on the carcasses of other animals trapped in the tar. Number 4. The unicorn. Perhaps the earliest account of unicorns is by well-known Greek historian Sadish. Yes, he described a large animal with a horn on its forehead. In India, it's quite possible that he saw a rhino from a distance, and thought it was a horse with a horn on its head. But fossils unearthed in Siberia may have proven the existence of this mythical creature. Called the Siberian unicorn, it was 1.8 meters tall, over 4 meters long and weighed more than 4 tons. It was covered in a shaggy coat, and earned his nickname from the huge horn that grew out of its forehead. Yes, it doesn't exactly resemble the classic unicorn of lore, but so far this is the closest that we can get to a real one. They were believed to have died out 350,000 years ago. But the discovery of a fossil in Kazakhstan changed all that. Carbon dating tests revealed the fossil to be only 29,000 years old. This means that the animal roamed the earth 321,000 years longer than previously thought. Number 3. The Komodo Dragon. Believe it or not, the Komodo Dragon was considered a mythical creature all the way up to 1910 when it was first discovered. Prior to that, rumors were spreading. The 8-foot-long 100-pound prehistoric lizards were living on a remote Indonesian island. Wanting to prove or disprove the existence of these creatures himself, Dutch colonial officer Lieutenant Steinvan put together an expedition to Komodo Island. He was able to catch and kill a 6-foot specimen, and he sent the carcass as proof to the Zoological Museum and Botanical Garden at Bogor, Java. Seemingly not satisfied with the discovery, American explorer W. Douglas Burden decided to put together an expedition himself, making up his mind to catch live specimens. In the end, the expedition was able to pile several dead and 2 live Komodo dragons onto their steamer, and then return to New York City, giving scientists plenty to study and visitors of the Bronx Zoo plenty to see. Number 2. The Bunyip. The Bunyip is a little like Australia's Loch Ness Monster, and that it lives in the water. It has never been photographed despite the fact that hundreds of people have seen it. However, the legend might have had actual rational origins. The Bunyip is an Aboriginal legend. According to Australian history, the name means a devil or spirit, and the creature is said to look like a cross between a crocodile and a horse. Granted, though accounts do differ, bunyips kill human beings and supposedly make an eerie sound like a hollow boom, which certainly seems terrifying if you've never been around any shotguns or farm equipment. Most scientists believe that the bunyip was derived from an extinct rhino-sized marsupial called the dipperdon. Remains of this animal were first found in the region in 1839. It's unlikely that there are any surviving populations of dipperdon in Australia, but they only died about 20,000 to 40,000 years ago. This was long after the arrival of the Aboriginal people. This suggests the legends might have come from real-life encounters between humans and these scary beings. And finally, number 1. The gorilla. It's hard to imagine a world without gorillas, at least based on today's standards. Back then, tales of large hairy savage man-beasts with bad tempers living in the wilds of some faraway place seems too good to be true. Their legend persevered until 1847, when physician and naturalist Thomas Savage managed to obtain gorilla bones, including a skull in Liberia. Prior to the first discovery of the bones, the first recorded sighting of a gorilla was made by the explorer Hanno in the 5th century BC. Another explorer named Andrew Patel also told tales of human-like monsters visiting his campfire every morning, after the humans had left for the day. But he also noted that these monsters weren't intelligent enough to put more wood on the campfire. So his credibility quickly went up in flames. Live gorillas went left unseen and untouched for a decade after, until explorer Paul du Chaillu hunted the gorillas and sent specimens back to the many societies who were funding his expeditions. Though the subspecies mountain gorillas, unbelievably remained a mythological creature for more than half a century more, only being discovered in 1902 by German Captain Robert von Boringe. I hope you enjoyed today's video and learned something new. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe so you never miss when we next upload. Check out the videos on your screen on what to watch next. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.